World number 47, Alex Eala, stepped onto the court in Doha with a grade 2 ligament tear in her ankle, and nobody knew. She played anyway. She fought for every point. She lost in straight sets. And when the cameras finally caught her walking off that court, tears streaming down her face, the tennis world assumed she was broken. They were wrong. Her coach just revealed what was actually happening behind closed doors, and it changes everything. Before we unpack what Joan Bosch disclosed, you need to understand exactly who Alex Eala is.
Alexandra Eala!
And why this moment matters far beyond a single match in Qatar.
12 months ago, she was ranked number 147 in the world. Today, she sits at 47. That is 100 ranking spots in a single year. Most players spend entire careers trying to accomplish what this 20-year-old achieved in 12 months. She became the first Filipina in WTA history to crack the top 50. Let that sink in. In a country of over 110 million people, in a sport that has existed for over a century, no woman from the Philippines had ever reached this level, until Alex Eala decided she would be the one to do it. In 2025, she defeated 3 Grand Slam champions during her Miami run. 3. She reached 2 WTA 1000 quarterfinals, tournaments where the Elite 8 are supposed to be reserved for established superstars, not rising 20-year-olds from Southeast Asia. She won her first WTA 125 title on home soil in the Philippines, giving her nation something they had never witnessed before: a homegrown tennis champion lifting a trophy in front of her own people. Tennis analysts began comparing her trajectory to a young Naomi Osaka. Coco Gauff herself acknowledged it after their Dubai quarterfinal. Alex Eala is bringing an entirely new demographic to the sport. This is not hyperbole, this is fact. But not everyone was ready to give her what she deserved. On February 9th, 2026, Alex Eala walked onto the court at the Qatar Open for her first-round match against Teresa Valentova. What nobody in that stadium knew, what nobody watching at home could have possibly understood, was that she was carrying far more than a tennis racket. Her ankle was torn, grade 2 ligament damage. The medical staff reportedly advised her not to play. She ignored them. And here is where it gets disturbing. While she was battling through excruciating pain, playing a match she had no business playing, Tropical Storm Penha was devastating the Philippines. Her homeland was flooding. Hundreds of thousands of her countrymen were displaced. And she was expected to perform as if nothing was wrong. She lost that match. 6-7 in the tiebreak, 1-6. And when she walked off the court in tears, critics called it weakness. Anonymous peers reportedly labeled her withdrawal from subsequent events as cowardly and disrespectful to the sport. 20 years old, playing on a torn ankle, watching her country drown from thousands of miles away. And she was the one being called disrespectful. But here's the part nobody is talking about. Coach Joan Bosch finally broke his silence in the days following that Qatar loss. And what he revealed shifted the entire narrative. She gave everything she had, he stated, but her body couldn't take it. Think about what that means. Imagine being Alex Eala, knowing your ankle is torn, knowing every step sends shooting pain through your leg, knowing your country is underwater and your family is terrified, and still choosing to compete because over 100 million Filipinos are counting on you. That is not weakness. That is the definition of sacrifice. But it does not stop there. 7 days later, just 7 days, she showed up in Dubai. Same ankle, same pressure, same weight of an entire nation on her 20-year-old shoulders. And what did she do? She beat Hailey Baptiste in the first round. She demolished Jasmine Paolini, a top 20 player, in straight sets. She outlasted Sorana Cirstea in a 3-set battle. She reached the quarterfinals of a WTA 1000 event while her ankle was still healing. The belief her supporters always carried is being proven correct by events. And then it got even more intense. After her Dubai run, footage surfaced of Eala being mobbed by Filipino fans. The crowds were so massive at the Australian Open earlier that year that tournament officials had to address overcrowding concerns. 450,000 Filipinos live in Dubai alone, and it felt like every single one of them showed up to watch her play. But here's what makes this story truly infuriating. When opponent Teresa Valentova allegedly made offensive remarks following their Qatar match, the WTA suspended her. The governing body of women's tennis looked at the situation and said, "This is unacceptable." And yet, where was that same energy when scheduling consistently disadvantaged non-Western players? Where was that protection when young stars from emerging tennis nations faced systemic undersupport? Now some people might say she should have just withdrawn from Qatar entirely, protected her body, waited until she was healthy. But here is what they are missing. Alex Eala does not play for herself. She plays for every Filipino kid who has ever been told tennis is not their sport. She plays for a diaspora scattered across the globe who need something to believe in. She plays because when your nation is drowning, sometimes showing up is the only way to tell them you have not forgotten. That alone would be enough. But what happened next made it undeniable. When Rafael Nadal speaks, the entire tennis world stops and listens. This is not some random commentator offering hot takes. This is a 22-time Grand Slam champion. This is the man who defined an era of tennis. This is the greatest competitor the sport has ever produced. And he posted publicly about Alex Eala. "We are extremely proud of you, Alex." Proud, from Nadal, about a 20-year-old from the Philippines. That sentence carries more weight than 1,000 press conferences. When the greatest fighter in tennis history looks at Alex Eala and sees someone worth celebrating, the conversation is over. Coco Gauff echoed the sentiment after defeating her in Dubai. "Keep rooting for your player." Alex is bringing a new demographic to the sport. The best players in the world are not just acknowledging her, they are validating her mission. But this story is bigger than Alex Eala. Tennis has been searching for its next global superstar in the post-Serena era. Someone who transcends the sport. Someone who brings new audiences, new markets, new energy. Alex Eala checks every single box. She represents 110 million Filipinos. She inspires a diaspora spanning every continent. She gives mainstream media no choice but to finally cover tennis in Southeast Asia, a region historically ignored by Western sports coverage. Indian Wells begins March 4th. The French Open follows. Wimbledon after that. Every tournament is another chapter in a story that is just beginning. Top 30 by end of 2026 is not a dream anymore. It is a trajectory. Tournament directors are already taking notes. This is not just good for Alex. This is transformative for women's tennis. Make no mistake, the loss to Gauff in Dubai hurt. 6-0, 2-6. A statement from the world number 3 about the gap that still exists. Eala acknowledged it herself in the press conference. "Obviously, I think the gap between us was pretty prominent, but I'm on the right path." She did not make excuses. She did not blame the ankle. She did not point to the emotional weight she had been carrying for weeks. She simply said, "I am on the right path." With love. What a privilege it is to do what you love. She posted on Instagram after the tournament. That mental toughness, that ability to absorb a loss and walk straight into the next battle, separates champions from everyone else. A torn ankle, a nation underwater, critics calling her cowardly, anonymous peers questioning her commitment. And through all of it, 3 top 20 wins in Dubai. A Nadal endorsement. A coach revealing the impossible sacrifice she made. Fans so passionate they caused overcrowding at major tournaments. Alex Eala did not just survive the hardest month of her young career. She showed the entire tennis world what it looks like when talent meets purpose. The girl from Manila is not crying because she is weak. She is crying because she cares more than anyone else on tour. And she is just getting started. Do you think Alex cracks the top 25 by end of 2026? Drop your prediction in the comments. Subscribe before she wins a Grand Slam and you have to pretend you were here from the beginning. Hit that notification bell. Share this with every tennis fan you know.